Good afternoon, everyone. Bon après-midi, buenas tardes. Welcome to all participants from Canada, USA, Mexico, and maybe some other countries in Latin and South America. During this presentation, we will speak English. Si vous avez besoin de la traduction en français, allez au bas de votre écran Zoom, cliquez sur le bouton Interprétation et choisissez Français. Et Jean-François sera heureux de vous accueillir. Pour la traducción en español, vaya a la parte inferior de su pantalla de Zoom, haga clic en el botón Interpretación y elija Español, y Cynthia te dará la bienvenida. My name is Nicole Bertrand, and I'm very happy today to be with you. I'm from Montreal on the east side of Canada and a proud member of the Pro-Swastika Alliance. And today I will co-host this presentation with David. David?
Oh, good to see you, Nicole. Thank you. Yes, my name is David Dunsmore. I'm living in Vancouver, which is the western side of Canada. So we have a true North American presentation here. And I'm also a member of the Pro-Swastika Alliance, which is present in all continents and in several countries. And its goal is to inform populations about the true meanings and origins of the swastika. And on behalf of the Pro-Swastika Alliance, we welcome you to this presentation, which is called The Extraterrestrial Origin of the Oldest Symbol on Earth. And today is the International Day for the Rehabilitation of the Swastika. Yes.
So, what's the true meaning of the swastika? Since when has it been around on our planet? Where can we find it? And who is using that symbol as a sacred religious symbol? And why is it so important nowadays to rehabilitate this so ancient symbol? Those are a few questions that will be answered during this presentation.
Thank you. We have the, there we are. So, Nicole, I don't think Buddha was a Nazi, no? Of course
I don't think so.
Of course he was not. This is an ancient symbol that has always been associated with peace, human well-being, and spirituality. You can go to the next slide there.
Those are beautiful images of the swastika, rehabilitación de la swastika. As you can see, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And personally, I have a favorite one. I don't know about you, but my favorite is this Islamic, like at the top, kind of dancing, very sensual swastika. And David, which one is your favorite?
I like the, sorry, the picture has gone very small on me here. The Christian one was very interesting.
Beautiful. I would like to ask all the participants to that session to go to their chat box and enter the name of their favorite one. So you can click and just enter the word that's below the representation that you prefer. So I see Marc Letourneau, Tibetano. Who else has a favorite one? Hindu for Victor, Africano for Lorraine, Africano for, oh la la, although that goes, it goes so fast. You can see the same thing as I see. Everyone seems to have a favorite. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I don't know if you noticed, but there is one at the bottom on the right, which is the swastika is inside the Star of David. Very, very close to the Raeliano one.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you, everyone, for participating. And guess what? You all have the right answer. Why is it? Because I asked you which one is your favorite, and it's a matter of taste. They are actually all beautiful. Those are beautiful drawings. But what about actual picture of object and monuments and buildings? That's the next section of our presentation.
Well, so here we have a very old shield from Iraq, 5000 BC. You can see the swastika there in the middle. And here we have actually one of the oldest books in the world, about at least 3,000 years old. And again, as Nicole is pointing out, very similar to the Raelian symbol. We have the swastika with the two triangles, which is the Star of David there, which is, of course, the Tibetan Book of the Dead.
Okay. So in Israel, there was the first temple and then the second temple. This one was built before Christ, of course, 538 to 417. It was demolished by the Romans, but this specific image is one of the columns that was preserved. So remember that the second temple in Israel has the swastika. And the Romans, who destroyed the temple, actually used this symbol 200 years after Jesus on the one limestone. And you see, it goes from one civilization to another.
Yes, here we have from 1181 to 1221, we have the rock churches in Ethiopia. And this is the oldest church in the world that actually you can see the swastika ordained in the window there.
This is in the Vatican. Who thought that they had the swastika in the Vatican? Well, I found out recently. You see it on the floor on the left side, and the detail is very clear. There's no doubt it's a swastika. Tampico, Mexico. This is a cathedral. Again, in the Christian tradition, it was built in the 1800s and destroyed and rebuilt 100 years later, and the floor survived, and there it is. Beautiful.
And here we have another beautiful picture. This is the House of Worship in 1920. So this is interesting too, because we can see the swastika, and then right above it, we can see the Star of David on this column.
And the Baha'i faith has the prophet that is well recognized. And so we're going through different traditions in different countries.
Yes. And again, we can see in Hungary, you have the synagogue here. Just above the door, you can see the Star of David.
This Taiwan temple has the swastika, and it looks very ancient, unless the picture is ancient, I don't know. And I don't know if you notice on each side, the circles, and inside 3 circles. Coincidence or maybe something else?
It's a very strong Buddhist symbol too, with the 3 dots. Here we have a Korean temple. You can see this enormous swastika on the top, very clear. It looks more modern day from the picture. And this is fascinating too, because to this day, when you go to Japan, you can see each temple's marked with a swastika. And when you, as a tourist, you arrive and you get a tourist pamphlet. This is the pamphlet they will hand to you, showing you all the temples, which is again marked with the swastikas.
And this is from an ashram in 1955. They built a big ashram and in India. And this is dedicated to yoga and meditation. It's beautiful. You have everything there. The circle, the Star of David, the swastika. And the Dalai Lama from Tibet. He was born actually in 1935. And as you see there in front of his seat where he's giving a lecture, you see the 4 swastika. And he is probably 50 to 60 years old. So in 1985, 1995 maybe, he was still using that symbol. So this what we just saw was to show you where and in which tradition the symbol of the swastika was found. And as you could see, many different religions in the world, the most well-known religions had that symbol. Now we're stepping a little in time, And we will see a new series of images, pictures, actually, but everything is before the Second World War. So that picture gives you the timing of what we're going to see now. It was actually, the swastika was used by religious people, as we just saw, but also in daily life objects and representation, and it meant luck and success, like this one. It's a promotion for coal. Who would thought that nowadays the swastika would be the name of a coal company? It was the case.
Yes, and then here we have a fruit company, and this is where the swastika, again, like Nicole was saying, it starts to get used into the economic life, especially in the Canada and the US. So it's in the industrial area. So we're starting to see it on different types of packaging, and this is a fruit company here. See the swastika very clearly.
And Coca-Cola.
Oh, see, we both love it, huh?
5 cents a bottle. It was a long time ago.
Cigarettes, it's interesting too, yes. And here we have a 1908 basketball team, the Chilko Indian Agricultural School in Oklahoma. You can see they all have their swastikas on their jerseys. Please go ahead, Nicole.
There's no ambiguity on this. 1908, the swastika, the heart, the horseshoe. We have a clove here, no, but everything there shows beautiful.
I love the hearts. And here we have US postcards, 1910, 1915. And here's in ancient days, swastika possessed a magic charm and shielded its possessor from danger and from harm. To you, it brings good wishes, and if I had the power to bring you all the life holds dear this very day and hour. So we can very clear it was known as a symbol of peace and well-being. And in smaller reading here, if I'm still young enough to read this, may our glorious flags and this lucky star guide you and keep you wherever you are. Beautiful. United States with a swastika.
Yeah. Can you imagine a birthday card with a swastika nowadays? Mexico, we're going south to Mexico. The floor there in 1915, this place was built and it survived to now. And a woman, hey, proudly, the swastika with a circle in 1916.
And we're back in Mexico, 1921, La Casa del Regio. Oh, our Mexican friends are going to be upset at me for not pronouncing that. But at the top, we can see all the swastikas adorned along the top of the building there.
And this plaza is beautiful too, right? Go ahead.
Oh, it's all good. In Puerto Vallarta.
It says it all, right?
Yes.
I like the way the swastika is drawn. And what about this one? 1932, the end of the Depression. You have the farther is the Star of David, then the swastika, then the clove, and then an eye. I don't know if the meaning is consciousness or whatever. Stop crying, start buying, 1932.
Fascinating. This is very simple. It's on a British merchant navy anchor, World War II.
Those objects are beautiful. And now we're going to focus a little more on a smaller group that used to be huge on this continent. We're going to focus on the natives. And David is very familiar with that series, so I will let him go ahead.
Thank you, Nicole. Next slide, please. So here we have some tapestries. You can see the swastika on these tapestries. I'm not sure the Sioux and Navajo, but they all integrated the swastika quite well into their artwork. And this is like a seasonal depiction of a hunting. So you can see the main character is the swastika, and then they've adorned it with different fishes and things throughout the seasons. Nicole?
Yes, it's beautiful too. We just know it's USA Apache. We have no date, but it's there. I like those. I like the bag on the left. It's very clear. At the bottom, it's actually bands that they put around their ankles with little bells when they do their dance. And I like the right side. You might look for a swastika there. There is no swastika, but they had the Star of David in their tradition.
So we see it looks like to be a bow and arrow case, sachet or something. You can see the swastika on there very clearly. Again, this is and here you can see this this lady, again, one of the native people here, wearing the big swastika around their neck, like, oh, and then again, you can see the swastika around this, I'm not sure if he's a chief, and then also along the headband, you can see the swastikas.
Yeah, another headband.
And then here we have, I'll jump in there, it's okay, Nicole. Not sure if you're having visual problem there. 1939, you see Jackie Kennedy, one of the Kennedys in a native dress here with the big swastika.
And this is very special. Look at those people. They are natives. They have a big board with a swastika and a next on it for a very, very important reason. In 1940, something very special happened, and I will let David continue with that.
Yes, unfortunate as it is, but shortly after the beginning of World War II in the early 1940s, due to the Nazis' atrocities, several Native American tribes published a decree stating that they would no longer use the swastika in their artwork. This was because the swastika had become a symbol of evil to the tourists who purchased their crafts. I have the decree here. Because the above ornamentation which was being a symbol of friendship among the forefathers for many centuries, has been desecrated. So as recently by other nations of other peoples, therefore, it is resolved, and henceforth, from this date on and forevermore, our tribes renounce the use of the emblem commonly known today as the swastika or fly flot on our baskets, blankets, art objects, sand paintings, and clothings. But that was the actual decree that the native people had promised to never use the swastika again. And I'll let Nicole.
Okay, so this was all before 1940. Now we're jumping a little step further, and the symbol of the swastika with the Star of David, as you can see, it's very comparable to what was on one of the oldest books, as we saw it at the beginning. This is now in 1973. What happened then, a young journalist called Claude Vorion, named after that Raelle, met with an extraterrestrial, and he was explained that this symbol was the symbol of infinity. He wrote a few books, maybe we can see the following slide. And the first book that he wrote in French says the book that tells the truth. You can see the symbol very clearly. On the left is an older version, and on the right side is the new version. Same thing. Those people, of course, were traveling with UFOs, and this is one of the drawings that you can find in the first book written by Raelle. And on this engine, this is what was engraved on the engine as well as on the suit that the extraterrestrial was wearing. This is the symbol of infinity. And why is it that this symbol was there? Next slide, please. Well, actually, before we go there, the book that we're talking about now in English is called Intelligent Design. You also have the Spanish version available, and we'll give you the website very shortly where you can find this amazing story on raelle.org. And the other website that we bring your attention to is more specifically for the event of today, the proswastika.org, where you will find a multitude of representation of the swastika all over the planet, in your country, maybe in your city, and we keep on adding and adding and adding new pictures. So if you want to submit some of your findings, just write to proswastika and suggest your own picture.
Yes, and here we have a fascinating picture of an actual swastika, which is August 8th, 2021. Still back in the 1900s here. But you can see the swastika, the crop circle. You can also make the connection with the Raelian symbol of infinity, which is the one with the swastika. And we also use temporarily the swastika with a spiral in it for other reasons out of respect, but that's another story. And then you can see the actual crop circle in the picture. So all very well connected, but this is to serve proof. And this is why we have such a history of the swastika. So when the Elohim return on Earth, when we welcome them back on Earth, there will be proof about the true origins of the swastika. And that's a really important connection to make to this presentation, because it's not just a symbol for the sake of a symbol we want to use. It's about the true nature, where the symbol came from and why we find it in all continents on the Earth. And there's something that happened very fascinating or interesting lately, is there's Peter Julian, which is an NDP leader here in BC, and he's in the House of Commons. And recently he's trying to have a bill C-229 pass, which is forbidding the use of the swastika. And after reaching out to him, and he's actually called me, and we had a good discussion. And he was not aware of this, the symbol still being used on such a spiritual level to this date. And once he knew about the true origins of the swastika, he changed the bill's wording to only allow Nazi hate material referring to, instead of swastika, he had that word completely removed from the bill and used as the swastika hooked cross. So this is why this is so important for us to have International Swastika Day. And right after this, I'll be going in the street with a few people, like you can see the picture behind me, that did that in France, and to spread knowledge and awareness about the true origins of this peaceful symbol, not a symbol of hate. And so peace and love. I leave the microphone to Nicole.
Thank you, David. So the title of this conference was The Extraterrestrial Origin of the Oldest Symbol on Earth. From what you saw, it's definitely everywhere, and it's definitely very, very old. And it's not only from Earth, as you saw in the books from dictated to Rael by the extraterrestrial. This symbol is actually not from Earth, it's from space. And those people, our creators called the Elohim, they would like to come back and meet with the most important people of the planet and share with us their science and their philosophy and their technology. And if humanity reaches a level of peace sufficient for that, they would like to come in an embassy. So one of the questions I raised at the beginning was, why is it so important to rehabilitate the symbol of infinity, including the swastika? Because when they will come back, there will be some swastika with the Star of David on their UFOs. There will be some symbol of infinity on their embassy, in their embassy, on their clothing, on the flags that the Raelian will carry with them. So we want all human beings to be aware that this symbol comes from before humankind was created, and the Elohim wants to come back. We want everyone to be ready and not be afraid of dangerous invaders from space when the time will come for the Elohim to come back in their embassy. So As we're about to conclude, I would like to thank everyone who contributed to this conference. Martin, our orchestrator, who is the continental responsible for this campaign every year. Also, all the technical team, thank you to the translators. Thank you, David. Thank you to all the participants. And our gift today is to bring you into the embassy that will be built to welcome on earth the creators of life, of all forms of life, the Elohim. So we will let you with this, and please share this important information around you so that the day they will come, everybody will applaud instead of being afraid. Thank you again for being with us, and let's go with the video. See you soon. Bye-bye, David. Thank you.